Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of P&M, some movie criticisms. I'm Miss M.
And I'm Miss P.
What's up everybody? How's everyone doing today? So, if you are new here, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Come along for the ride. Join us. We know we're relaxed over here. And hey, if you've been around, if you've come joined us before, thank you for coming to join us again. Thank you so much for showing your consistent love. So, with that being said, Miss P, you know what time it is.
It's time to take a nap and go to sleep.
No, we're live on Twitch. No, you know what time it is. Hype.
Ugh.
You know you love the hype. You know you love it. Come on, let's go.
You don't need no hype. You better hype yourself up. You don't need no hype. You better hype yourself up. You don't need no hype. You better hype yourself up. You don't need no
P&M movie criticism with the hot sauce. P&M movie criticism got the hot P&M movie criticism with the hot sauce. P&M hot P&M hot sauce. We tell you everything that's hot and everything that's not. P&M movie criticisms for you. Anything that streams, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Well, with that being said, Miss P, can you please tell our audience what we're reviewing today?
We are reviewing Fear Street Prom Queen movie based on the R.L. Stine book. Fear Street Prom Queen.
My gosh, talking about a throwback. It's a throwback, isn't it? Like, it's a crazy throwback. Okay, so first off, I grew up reading R.L. Stine because Fear Street is a R.L. Stine book series.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an R.L. Stine book series, but it's for like tweens and teens. So for those of you who grew up reading like the Goosebump books, and then you started to mature, and you were like, I don't want Goosebump books anymore. I need something more mature. So you started reading like R.L. Stine's Fear Street and everything. So I'm an avid reader, right? Yeah. And so are you, Miss P, right? You're an avid reader?
I'm an avid reader because who remembers Book It?
I remember Book It. I was getting free food all the time. My mother would never have to cook with Book It. But you kind of get sick of pizza. Am I the only one who wanted more than just Pizza Hut?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted more than just Pizza Hut too. But anyways, if you're familiar with Book It, it's a program that schools had that rewarded children for reading. And so basically, if you finished reading a book and your teacher asked you questions and you were able to answer the questions correctly, you would receive a free personal pan pizzas. And I racked up. I know you racked up too, Miss P.
Led to childhood obesity.
Well, let's just say I just wanted more variety. Book it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we have to rate Fear Street Prom Queen. So, Miss P, what are you rating it?
I'm gonna give it a habanero.
Habanero. Okay.
I'm coming out the gate swinging.
She's coming out the gate swinging. Habanero. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a jalapeno.
See, there's always one in the crowd.
It's totally jalapeno for me. So anyways, with that being said, let's talk about the hot sauce. So ladies and gentlemen, we have P&M Movie Criticism's hot sauce chart, which is how we rate our films. Coming in at the top, there's a Carolina Reaper. There's nothing hotter. There's nothing better. Then there is The Ghost. It's an amazing film, but there's just an element that it's missing. Then there's a habanero. You know, it's good. You know, it's very nice. You didn't have any complaints. Jalapeno's like, man, you know, it was all right, you know. And then bell pepper's like just a complete failure. Flop. I'm thinking about suing the people who made this movie.
The dead don't die.
For taking the minutes of my life. You know.
Mad Max Furiosa.
Hey, listen, we have to make sure that we review all different types of films because we are well-rounded.
Yes, we are. But when she said bell pepper, instantaneously 2 movies pop into my mind. And I will not let it go because they were the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
One was The Dead Don't Die, And the second one would be Mad Max Furiosa.
But what about that movie with, man, what's that movie with that androgynous character? Was it Pam? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
It's the androgynous character in the movie, and like we don't know if the character's a male or female.
Constantine?
No, it was a comedy. Kind of like something an SNL star would do outside of like SNL.
Then I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know if it was Pam or something. I don't know.
Oh, you talking about SNL when they couldn't figure out if it was a girl or a boy and they would ask it questions?
Yes, yes, yes. It's Pat. It's Pat.
Pat. Is Pat short for Patricia or Patrick? I just like to be called Pat.
That, are you sure that's not the worst movie you've ever seen?
They didn't make a movie out of that. They made a movie. The only movies they made from SNL were like Superstar. Sometimes when I get really nervous, I put my hands under my armpits and I smell them. Smell them. I just smell them. Yeah, that.
No, there's a Pat movie. There's a Pat
What?
movie. Yes, it's called It's Pat, the movie. It came out in 1994.
And that's why I was living my best little fourth grade life, not paying attention to that mess because I was too young.
Yeah, well, anyways, moving on, we have gotten slightly off topic, and so we have to justify our ratings, so that's where the Peanut movie criticisms criteria comes in. Miss P, can you introduce our audience to this?
I sure can. Number 9, do they like it or do they love it? Is it historically accurate? Number 7, did it strike my emotions? Number 6, did it keep my attention? Number 5, what are the production elements? Number 4, I'm sorry, directing. Number 3 is the quality of acting. Number 2 is sound quality and effects. And my favorite thing in all of movies is the cinematography.
Oh yeah, cinematography. Gotta love cinematography. So, Miss P, do you like it or do you love it?
I'm somewhere in the middle.
In the middle.
It was good for what it was, because I don't want to give it too much away. For what the movie was, it was like a teeny bopper slasher. Like, it would have been a good 80s, like, B movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. I don't really like it either. There were moments when I was like, you should have known not to do that, right? But wasn't that obvious? And there were also moments when I would have been like, oh, I can't really say it because it has a language in it, strong adult language. So we're just gonna skip over it. You know what? I have a very modest like for this film. I mean, it brought me back to being kind of like a tween, right?
Yeah, I mean, more or less like being in high school, but being in high school in the 80s.
Ah, yeah, that was weird. I mean, because we definitely didn't come up in the 80s, but anyways, like it or love it, right? I have nothing else to say about number 9, to be honest with you.
Number 8, is it historically accurate? I would say yes. For the movie to be adapted into the 80s, it had a lot of heavy 80s references. They had Johnny Depp on the wall. They had Patrick Swayze on the wall. Like, it was very much so a 80s movie. Like, they had 80s music. Hungry Like the Wolf, Rick Lasley, Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Gonna Let You Down.
Never
They
gonna
had
give
a
you
lot
up,
of.
never gonna let you down, never gonna turn around, desert you, and never give
This is also
you
me.
up. Rickroll, everybody, Rickroll. Come on, Miss
My Lord, here we go.
Rickroll. Also, for all of you DDR fans out there, remember that this song is on DDR? Excuse me, Miss P, please continue.
See? So, was it historically accurate? Yes. For the time period that it was in, yes, it was very historically accurate. Even the ugly dresses.
Oh gosh, those ugly dresses. My gosh. Oh, the dresses. Oh, don't even get me started. We could have an entire segment on those dresses. As a matter of fact, never mind. They're too ugly to talk about. But, yeah, they had it down. Some of the 80s dresses, 80s hair, big 80s camera.
The big boom box.
Right? You're like, talking to Miss P, I was like, they really carried around those boom boxes.
And the rat tails.
And the rat tails. Oh my gosh. The ace. My gosh. Sometimes I wonder what type of teenager I would have been if I came up in the 80s. What type of teenager do you think you would be?
Probably a dork.
Yeah, me too. I still totally be a nerd.
Like, there's no. But see, I would have been a cool nerd. Like, I would have just been like, yeah, I'm here about my education.
Tell me about it. I was that type of kid too. Excuse me, you're interrupting the teacher. How
Well,
could
I
I
wasn't that
possibly
kind of kid. I
learn?
was the kid that was like, you better not raise your hand and tell them we have more homework. That was me. I was that kid. I would be like, don't you dare turn around and be like, yes, yes, we have more homework. Don't you dare raise your hand and say nothing. That was me. But let's keep it going. Did it strike my emotions? This movie was gore. Like, this was like a slasher gore, like borderline gore movie. It was a good watch. Like, there was parts where you'd be like, "Ooh, why? Why are you doing this?" Don't do that. I already know what's happening. It's just one of those movies where you have to yell at the person. Not that they can hear you, but it makes you feel better because you know that they're walking to their impending doom.
And for stupid reasons too, mind you. My goodness. Literally. I was like, this movie literally would not exist if I was in this world. Like, if I were in this world, it would not exist because of the following reasons. Coming in at number one, I would never live in a place called Shady Side. Coming in at number two, I never would have associated with those people. Coming in at number three, even if they would have tried, well, let's just say Miss M ain't the one. You know, I don't like bullies, and bullies don't like me. Um, yeah, this movie just never would have happened. But I agree with Miss P about you do talk to the screen. It did get me engaged. And where I was yelling at the characters, yelling at Lori, our protagonist, I was yelling at them all. So this is why I don't give it a bell pepper. And it's exactly why I give it a jalapeno.
I think you should just move it up, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
discuss. We
Yeah,
will
well, it's good.
discuss.
Yeah, we will. We will discuss. Let's give a short synopsis. So, we already know R.L. Stine. He deals with the supernatural. He's like doing Twilight, the Twilight Zone, but for kids, tweens, right? So, like, there's this girl. Her name is Lori Granger. She has a cursed name because a tragedy happened with her mother involving the murder. I believe was it the murder of her father?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the murder of her father, and everybody's saying that her mother did it. And these girls, it's like Mean Girls meet Goosebumps, if you've seen the Mean Girl. And the Mean Girls are just always picking on Lori. They're like, da da da, you didn't. They're talking about how she's a murderer, her mom's a murderer, how everybody knows her mom did it. And Lori's just really trying to clear her family's name and by, well, running for prom queen and being a candidate. But for the antagonist, she's like, girl, no, we aren't doing this. You better know your place. And this is when we have the four mean girls. So that is
Okay,
Tiffany
so your
Falconer.
mean girls they're called the Wolf Pack. Your mean girls
That's
are
right.
Tiffany Falconer, Melissa, Debbie, and Linda.
Yeah, those are the mean girls. And Tiffany Falconer, she has them all under her thumb. Pretty much. She controls all of them. And they obey, okay? But anyways, we follow them. Wait. What's the name of her little friend? I can't recognize her in the list.
Megan.
Is her name of her friend?
Lori attends a prom with her best friend Megan Rogers.
Oh, there it is. I cannot recognize her in the cast list. She's all made up in a sequency dress. Thanks, Miss P. So Megan is different. She is kind of like your wild child, right? She's pretending to cut off her hand. She's putting fake heads in the punch bowl and everything. So like she does not care about the status quo, and she's doing her unapologetically.
But hold on, let me interject really, really small things here. Megan is also a pothead. Megan's a pothead, okay?
I thought she was smoking a cigarette.
No, honey, she smokes the reefer.
Oh,
She's a
that's what
pothead.
that was.
Mm-hmm. That's why they kept going, "Are you high right now?"
I thought that was a cigarette. It was a blunt. My
Uh-huh.
bad.
No, she was smoking reefer. That's why she kept looking for the girl that was killed. It was like, I gave her my last little, I'm down to my last little thing. Where's she at?
Oh, that's what she was talking about.
Yeah.
So basically, that was an exchange for marijuana.
Yes.
That completely went over my head. Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss P. So, but anyways,
And but one other thing was Megan. Okay, so Miss M did a really good job of explaining Megan, but let me do a little deep dive really quick. Megan is the character that you want to see win because she loves scary movies. She loves horror. She loves anything gothic. Like she's very much so like she's talented. And I think, I don't know if this is what they were going for, but think she had a crush on her best friend. Like the whole time they went to prom together, she dressed up like a boy. It was very much given some things. It
well,
was very much giving, but
yeah,
she came to her best friend's defense
yeah,
the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But
That's
that
not
was
right
my
or
deep
done.
dive on her. Sorry.
No, no, that's fine. We don't need to apologize here. What are we saying I'm sorry for? Well, I don't really believe in that, but that's another thing. Unless you actually hurt somebody mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. It's thank you, Miss P. But yeah, that's Megan. So basically, it's Lori and it's Megan versus the Wolf Pack. And they're really just that. They really are the Wolf Pack for teenager Miss P, teenager Miss M. They would have been more like wolf cubs, Gucci 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 Goo. But for Lori and Lori, they really are a thorn in the side. So as the movie progresses, the prom candidates start to go missing one by one. And about the girl who, well, one of the prom candidates who, I think that's Melissa who was selling the marijuana, her boyfriend rides up to the prom. And this is my favorite quote, where this is when Megan walks up to him and says, "Have you seen Melissa?" And then he's like, "No, why do you think I'm here? She's been missing for 48 hours. No one knows her better than me. I've been dating her for 2 months." And I'm like, oh, 2 months. Okay. So that's my favorite quote of the movie. Miss P, do you have one?
I didn't have a quote like this time. Like usually I have a quote, but I don't have one this time.
You're the one with the wait, what did you give it? You're the one with the habanero.
Yeah, but I don't have a quote. Usually I do, but I didn't find anything quotable necessarily that I would like, if
No
that
one
makes
knows her
sense.
better than me. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, as the story goes on, um, there are some revelations that happen regarding the Wolfpack's leader and Lori Granger. And that's really all I'm going to say in that, the killer comes in, I think, pretty early. It is pretty and just the climax is basically the killer or killers hyping it up and they ramp up their murders throughout the film. And that's pretty much it. And I
Well,
don't want to spoil it the end for you.
I'm not gonna spoil the end, but I feel the worst death to me, like that didn't unnecessarily have to die, was the one that was being nice to Lori.
But that person
Melissa?
did have to die.
No, Melissa.
Yeah. But that person, okay, when you watch the film, you'll understand why that person had to die.
But I just still feel bad for her because she had a character. It wasn't a major character arc, but she had a little minor character arc and she was turning the corner. Like she wasn't being the mean girl anymore. She was like, you took it too far.
Wait, okay, wait. You're not talking about, okay, I got you. Yeah, okay, yes. Okay, no, I confuse the characters. Okay, it's Christy. Christy's the one that's selling marijuana. That's right. And Melissa, she was the one who was actually making a character arc. This is true.
Yes.
She has the strongest character arc. Even, I don't know, it might be stronger than Lori Granger's character arc. What do you think?
I would say she helped her. She helps her.
Yeah, yeah, because we don't have a lot of character arcs here. Laurie Granger does have a character arc.
But it's
Melissa,
for the worse. Like her character goes from I'm a nobody and I'm trying to do this to oh my gosh, I'm actually here and I'm doing a dance off and I'm beating her and she's doing stupid moves and I'm actually winning, to I'm not going to listen to my best friend because I think I know everything and I'm going to go with this random boy.
Well, yeah, that does definitely happen. I feel like Lori is the underdog. She's the underdog. She's kind of like the girl next door. She threatens the status quo of the Mean Girls. In a sense, Lori Granger is a disruptor. Okay, she disrupts the status quo. She is naturally cute. She's cuter than Tiffany Falconer, that's for sure. And naturally, too. So, you spruce her up with just a little bit of makeup and she can easily take the cake. Tiffany, I feel like Tiffany is not bad looking, but Tiffany would have to work a little harder. Right? And that's why Tiffany's so mean. Because she doesn't have it. Right? Not like Lori.
But see,
Lori
here's the thing. You're talking about a underrated beauty versus this girl. This girl is beautiful because she's rich. Like, you have to look at it from that point of view. You have the poor girl, then you have the really rich girl. The poor girl has to go to a secondhand shop to get her dress. The rich girl, her mom gets it for her from this exclusive boutique, whatever she said she got it from.
Exactly, exactly. That's why Lori is the girl next door. And that's why Tiffany has to work harder. Tiffany needs the boutique. Tiffany needs a mom to be
But
able to buy
she
those
didn't
things
have
for
a
her.
character. Neither one of those characters for me had any kind of character arc. They were, if I had to say anything, they went up and then it came back down. Like, it wasn't even a heartbeat. It was like a bell curve. It was just like it went up and then it went down. And hers did the same thing. Only person I think that truly had a character arc, even though it was minor, was Melissa. Because Melissa was like, bro, that's enough. Like, stop. I've had
And
enough.
that's true. And
Like,
she doesn't turn back, too.
huh?
She doesn't turn back.
No. She's like, I've had enough. I've had enough. When enough is enough, you're like, okay, I'm done. And so I did not like the way that they killed her off, because I wish that she would have been one of the ending girls, like closer towards the end, because I liked her character. She was the only one that would stand up to Tiffany.
Yeah, she's the only one that really did. I do like her character, and I do feel like she did have a strong one because even for Lori, Lori does go up and down. That's the thing. And at the very end, I'm going to give as few details about this as possible, but at the very end, when we think everything has been solved, as it has been resolved, she goes back down the dark alley again. Like, I would have been like, bye. I don't really like, we've never, like, what's going on? Like, given the past history, I would have been like, you'll be okay. You will be okay. See you later. So, like, nah, she goes up and down. She goes up and down. But she will be better off. Her and her family will be better off. They'll be better off at the end of the movie than they were at the beginning, and that's saying something about the character arcs.
I still feel like the best character arc was
Well, hands down, I agree with you. Hands down, it's Melissa. Hands down, hands down. But I guess what in this case we would say the only person who has a full character arc is Melissa. Our protagonist, Lori Granger, has a partial character arc at best, which is not good because she's the protagonist. If anybody should have had a full character arc, it should have been her. So I do agree with you. I'm just saying her family will be better off. And at least her family name will be cleared too. Because now they will know who the real murderers are. We aren't telling you watch the movie.
well, I'm telling you, watch the movie. You should watch it. And then come and tell us what you think.
Yeah, come and tell us what you think. What do you think? I think so. So that's all I have to say about it.
So, the production elements. I think the production was done very, very well for it to be an 80s movie. It wasn't done in 88, so I liked it. My favorite character, so let me go back really quick. My favorite character was the girl that was doing the broadcasting. She was a school broadcaster.
I know who you're talking about. Let me look at our chart here. I know who you're talking about. Oh my gosh. They're doing her a disservice. She's not on the list. Wow. Okay. I guess they said you're not that important. That's unfortunate. Okay, here she is. She's Harmony.
Okay,
So that's your
Harmony.
favorite character, Harmony?
Yeah, I liked her because she filmed everything.
Everything.
I mean everything, not the killings or whatever, but all the confessions that were being made, all of the chopping off the head and the leg and all that stuff. Could you imagine being at prom and you get your leg chopped off? Horrible. Just horrible.
Could you imagine getting your leg chopped off, period? Like,
Horrible.
just
Just horrible.
horrible. Horrible, period. That'd be horrible. I don't want to lose. Like, that's really bad. There's a lot of things that are chopped off. Like, heads were chopped off, arms were chopped off, heads were chopped off. Did we say legs? Yeah, we said legs. Everything that could be chopped off was chopped off.
Yeah. And the principal had his arm on a pillow.
Yeah. Wowzer.
Let me
Well,
see. The next thing that we need to talk about would be the quality of acting. I think the acting for what it was for a teeny bopper slasher, it was good. Like the character arcs were lacking. Like
badly, very badly.
the character arcs were lacking, but it had a beginning, middle, and an end. I mean, that's saying a lot for because most movies only have a beginning and a middle, and they really don't end well. So
True.
it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it ended good. I liked all the characters individually. Like I even liked the villain because she was like, "Oh my gosh, what would you do if you had to kill your best friend?" Lori, what would you do? That was my favorite when they were in the
Yeah.
closet.
Well,
Huh?
no, I was just saying, yeah.
Well, when they were in the closet, my favorite thing was when she kicked her over the balcony. That's all I'm going to say about that.
But yeah, that was epic.
Uh huh.
That was epic. Cause I was like, really? Really? Are you gonna go down without a fight? Really? 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 You better put up a fight. You better put up a fight. You know, if you go down, you go down, but you don't go down without a fight. Always remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Give it your best. Give it your all. That's all I need to say about it. Yeah. So for this, and talk about I just want to add in one thing. I was looking for a budget. I couldn't find any information about the budget of this film.
I found it.
What did you find?
It cost. Give me one moment. 70 million.
70 million? I think that's for a different one.
That's for it. The production budget of 70 million.
70 million? Because I remember seeing that for a different prom queen.
No, this is Fear Street Prom Queen.
Okay. Well,
70 million.
70 million. Okay. Well, it was, if you know about this film, it was underperforming. But despite the fact that it's underperforming, teens like gore, teens like slashers. So it's been a top streamer despite its low ratings. Basically, the tweens and teens like it.
The only reason why it has low ratings is because it's coming from people that are our age looking at this movie because of nostalgia purposes. They're like, no, this is horrible because this isn't like the books, right? They're looking for things that are like the books.
And you know, you can't compare anything to the books, you know, with our childhood. But it would be some other people, you know how books are, they cross generations. A lot of people still, kids still read First Street. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how many people actually, really actually read. When I remember when I was in Book It, I was the only kid who ever got a coupon out of like my entire class. And I'm not even talking about just my class in school. I'm talking about my class, you know, my grade, you know? Like, people don't read as much. I don't think people ever read, you know, that much.
We did because my whole class would get them. Everybody in the classroom would get because we were all about getting those pizzas, and it would be like, meet me at Pizza Hut. Like we could tell our parents when to take us to pizza. Meet me at Pizza Hut at like after school, and then we can eat our pizzas there together.
I didn't have anybody to say that to because nobody was reading. like, like nobody was reading like any, and even in all of my extracurricular activities, I could never be like the cool, super cool kid because I read. So like, you know, as an avid reader, you could never be the super cool kid. And if you were the super cool kid as an avid reader, did people know you were an avid reader? One. Where did you live? I need to know. And three, is it still like that? Yeah. So yeah, if you're wondering, Miss P, Miss M and we are millennials. Not telling you where because yeah, that's not that. Maybe we will have a Q&A, but don't be getting all up in our grill like that. Our grills, okay? Oh man, but yeah. Anyways, movies, acting. As you were saying about the acting, is what you expected to be from that age of actors. You know, we're not talking about Helen Mirren and Meryl Streep and Angela Bassett, right?
We're talking about people playing teenagers, and they're probably in their late 20, like their early 30s, playing high schoolers in 1988.
Probably. I mean, you know, it's the type of acting you would expect it to have. The film did a really good job, I think, with the making it feel very 80s-esque. You know, we're past the decade of 80s when we grew up, but we did watch a lot of 80s movies. I would have liked more of a character arc and more, you know, the story arc. Matt Palmer, Donald McLeary, R.L. Stine, but mainly looking at Matt Palmer and Donald McLeary.
But see, here's the thing. I feel like the lady that did the original three, they should have kept her and let her do this one too. Like they should have kept the original director
Yeah, I can see
because
that.
when you go through different directors, they're gonna take it in a different way. You're gonna have a different vision. Like you can look at the source material and see what they did, and okay, well, this is my interpretation of what they did. So that's why I say when you do trilogies or you want to do more than three movies, keep the same director.
Yeah, that'll help keep the same feel. You know how fickle audiences can be.
Pretty much.
Right, they can be really fickle. Yeah, so, you know, that's all I have to say about it. So, do you have anything else you want to say about the quality of acting?
Not at all.
Okay. You know what? I will have to say one thing. For me, my character, I like Megan as a character. I like Megan because she was just so unapologetic about being who she is. I really like that. And that's hard to do when status quo is everything in high school, you know? And it's not just out high school, but the world. The world has the status quo that it operates off of too. And it's really brave, very brave to be yourself. So kudos to this character. It would have been awesome to see her have a nice character arc too. But well, if that's not it, and that's all, I guess that brings us to sound quality and effects. What do you think about number two, Miss P?
It was good.
Okay, okay, okay. What do you like about it?
The effects, not so much, but the gore, just the. I like slasher movies. When it first started, I told Miss M, I said, "Oh my gosh, this reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street." Just the way it started, the music, the weirdness. It's like, yeah. So it put me in a nostalgia because Nightmare on Elm Street is an '80s movie too.
Yeah, it's true. I'm surprised they haven't made a new one yet. How about you?
They have made a new one. It flopped. They did it in 2009, and it was the worst one ever.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I have it.
Well, maybe there's a reason why I don't remember. Haha. Well, too bad. Well, Nightmare on Elm. What is? Oh yeah, Elm Street. Yeah, Elm. Why would you live on that street? It's called Elm. Do you hear Elm? Elm Street? Really? What
Mhm.
is that? But anyways, about sound quality and effects, it wasn't bad, you know. We were talking about the soundtrack. They had all of it. The soundtrack was really good, yeah. You had your classic songs in there. You had Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, you know, blah 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 blah. Had all the hits in it. So I don't really have any complaints about the sound quality and effects. If you have a queasy stomach when it comes to blood and gore, be careful, cause you know the killer doesn't really care. The killer is pretty violent. You know, the killer is definitely killing. Okay. And the killer doesn't mind what it's doing to everybody, okay? What a killer. Not giving a thought to anybody's life but its own.
Well, the thing that kind of gave me big problems was when she said, "You're nothing." When she was begging for help, "You're nothing, you're nobody." So I was like, please, please.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But they're not nice. What'd she say to her daughter? Don't beep it up. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it's high school prom. Is it really that big of a deal? Like, I guess for some people, like, oh, even in my family, they'll go, oh, the family will come over, your aunts and your uncles will come over, they'll take pictures. But I have never understood the concept of prom. I mean, I have never understood it. For me in high school, there was a jock. And I liked him because he wasn't the typical jock. He actually was a jock with book smarts, right? And he was like, hey, do you want to go to prom? I'll get a limo, corsage, and after prom, we can go to my family's beach house. They'll let us have it for the weekend, and it'll just be us alone. And I just looked at him. Like, why am I going hours away to a beach house with you alone? You're not about to knock me up and leave me alone. I mean, so many girls get knocked up on their prom night. I don't even understand it. I don't understand why we even celebrate this, in my opinion. Am I getting too political?
Oh, because you're one of those weirdos. I went to prom. Prom was nice. You danced. I had my prom dress made, so it didn't cost me like an arm and a leg.
Oh, that's good.
But
Sometimes
prom is
having
something, it's kind of like a rite of passage. It's kind of
that,
like you did it. You made it. You have one night. It's just kind of like Bluefield stuff.
yeah, I don't get that either.
Listen. Take it from me. Vote. I'm not gonna say my name, but vote. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. I'm competitive and I like to win.
Okay, so to give you a bit of a backstory, okay, we were not completely unknown where we went to school. We were actually very well known. And when I say very well known, I guess maybe I'm being modest, but we were the type of people that people did vote for. Okay. And a lot of my friends, including Miss P, actually won quite a few times. I was the one where people said, hey, I voted for you. And I would go on a campaign and tell people not to vote for me because, well, I didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't see the point. Okay. Like, is it going to give me a scholarship? Is this going to give me a scholarship? Is it going to propel me in my career, then I might care. But I don't care about that, oh, it's one night thing. It's just it. So that gives you the context about a little bit about what Miss P is talking about. Yeah, blah. So yeah. Popular girls, am I right? Yeah, that's true. Let it be known we were nice. And also, we were nice, inclusive, understanding, but we weren't anything like the mean girls. Not at all. We were nothing like them. Nothing like the mean girls. They're just ugh. Anyway, so that was that. So yeah. Miss P, what about coming in at #1, cinematography? Yeah. Yeah, I have no complaints. I have no complaints other than the story arc being lackluster and everything. But the name of the cinematographer is it's Mark Giori. If I didn't say your name correctly, please do politely correct me because I would like to say it, well, correctly. But what's up? Shout out to R.L. Stine. Yeah. I mean, it took me back to my childhood. I loved reading all of these books. I did. I just really loved it. And it's amazing when I'm an adult to see that there were all these movies. I would have liked to have these movies I guess we did kind of have these movies when we were a kid because like a lot of these movies did come out. And so it's kind of nice to see them revamped, I guess, and everything. Stories like these never die. It's kind of like The Handmaid's Tale. Handmaid's Tale was a book written by Margaret Atwood in the 1980s. Dystopian tale about well, an authoritative regime and oppression. But yeah, it was nice. Yeah. I wish I could have more passion about it, but I really don't like weak arcs and weak character arcs, so there that is. But your tweens and your teens they'll like it. Yeah. So that's it for me. I am still going to give it a jalapeno because just the arcs, just not only really, I don't like the arcs. I just don't like the arcs. I don't. okay? It kind of almost had a Stranger Things feel. They really tapped into that. But Stranger Things is just so much more dynamic. So it's kind of disappointing when you tap into a feel, but your characters don't evolve in your story arc. I mean, there is resolution. There is resolution. It may not be the strongest resolution, but there's resolution, and that's exactly why I give it a jalapeno. Crickets, crickets. Hey, everybody, follow us. Tell us what you want us to do. Does anybody want us to do? There's the Karate Kid that came out like what, yesterday? Karate Kid? Yeah, tell us what you want us to like review next. Engage with us. Hit us up. Yes, help us defeat the algorithm. Help us defeat the algorithm. She's like, I'm not gonna beg. I'm not gonna beg. I'm this piano beg. And this is me. Help us defeat the algorithm. Please. It is a vicious, vicious beast. Huh? What? What? Well, I'm not begging either. Yeah, okay. Miss P. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, why don't we just call them P numbers? I guess, yeah. Yeah, at P and movie criticisms. Chop it like it's hot. P numbers? Is that too nerdy? I don't know. Yeah, we're leaving it up to you. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And if you joined us again, you're joining us again, thank you for joining us for another ride. And for the newcomers, come back again. The more the merrier. Hey, everybody. I'm Miss M, and I'm about this piece.
And I'm Miss P. Consume, consume, consume.
See you
Bye.
later. Don't listen to her, but do comment. See you next week.
Consume, consume.
Girl, I had to put you on stop. I stopped filming. We stopped. I got a class to get to. You do consume. You're so silly. Alright, Miss P. I mean Princess. We gotta get out my acting mode. I got a class to get to. We did it. Let me change. Let me change. But I don't want to do it, No, it's okay. Ooh, what? Oh my gosh. No, she needs to wash it here. No, it's the so console. Look at it.